Welcome to Harmony Baptist Children's Corner. My name is Dave. This is COVID Home Edition 69 for August 8th. All right, school's starting up in a few weeks, eh? How would you like to have a 4-day work week, or school week, instead of 5 days? You only went to school 4 days. Got 3 days off. How would you like that? Sound like a good idea? I think so too. You know, there are companies now that are starting that with their work week. For, you know, like for adults with jobs, they're starting the whole 4-day work week thing. I don't know how much I'd like that. Like right now, 5 days, 8 hours. So if you went to 4 days, like still doing 40 hours, you'd have like 10-hour days. I think I'd like having another day off, but I'd probably spend more money. And I definitely wouldn't like working 2 more hours every day. So I don't know that I would like the 4-day work. I'd definitely like another day off, but I don't know. I'm kind of used to the whole 5-day work week, where 5 days of 8 hours a day. That didn't come about till 1938, when the United States made it a law that you can only, not that you can only, but that a regular work week, a standard work week, was to be 40 hours or 8 hours or 5 days. So you got 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday. And up to that point, a lot of places only gave you 1 day off and the Sunday off so that you go to church. And other than that, and you're expected to go to church, and other than that, you work. That's what you do, work and so, but it was Henry Ford, in 1900, well, Henry Ford, he invented the Ford car, he invented the assembly line, the idea of building things along a line, and he also started the whole weekend thing. Because he was doing so well with his cars, and his employees were doing well, and they were all basically happy, he gave them Fridays, or not Fridays, but gave them Saturday and Sunday off, like a weekend off. So that, and that started from that, and it took till 1938 till they made it a law. But he basically started the whole idea of having a day to themselves and then a day to go to church. I think it's a great idea. I like the 5-day week. I like having a weekend. Before that, it was 6 days. A lot of places work 6 days and like 10, 12 hours a day. So they're working 70, 80 hours a week, 6 days a week, and that's just too hard. And I'm glad we've progressed since then, and it's much better. Even God only worked 6 days. Yeah, he made the plants and the fish and the birds and the trees and the oceans and the stars and the sky and the moon and the universe. He did it all in 6 days, and then he rested. All right, this is good. I like it. And he sat back and he rested. Now, I find it hard to think of God resting. Like, can you imagine today? Okay, I'm taking a day off. All right, you got some prayers. Hang on to them tomorrow. God, I could use it. No, just time out. I'm off today. All right, can you call back? Call the answering service. All right, see if you get it. That's not how God is. God works like every day. There's always God. That's what it is. Can you imagine though? God took a day off and rested. This is good stuff. And I'm sure he looked around and thought, this is good stuff. I like that, And so then he said, these people that I made, I'd like them to honor it too. I'd like them to honor me so maybe they'll take that 1 day of rest. Same like I'm resting. They should take a day of rest and not work and not do anything. Just take a day of rest and honor me. And honor me by taking the day of rest. And I think some people get that, I think some people take it too liberal. They go, oh, you can't work. Like some people say, oh, if you walk more than 100 yards, that's working. You can't do that. Or if you go to work and work, that's working. You can't do that. And I understand that. I agree with it to a degree. It's hard to do that though. Like, not do anything. Okay, don't do work. Don't do anything. Don't do this. Well, you got kids. What are you going to do? You don't go out. You don't do this. You don't do that. If my wife's not to work, she's supposed to make supper. Then no, if she's not to work, well then let's go out for supper, and that's a great idea. So she's resting and she's having a rest. Like God said, rest, I want you to rest. So she's resting. Well, we're making somebody else work. And people say, oh no, you can't go out because you're making somebody else work. And I see something to that too. There is thought to that. So it's a fine line. What is it that God really wants on that Sunday? What does he want out of this day? He asked us to honor him. And I think a lot of us think, okay, I'll put Sunday. Sunday's the day to honor him. I go to church. I go to church every Sunday. Like that's God. I honor you. I'm honoring you on this day. This is your day. I'm coming to church for like an hour. And I think some people think like that. And then they think, You know, okay, and now that I've come to church on Sunday, I'm good for the rest of the week, and I'm ready to take on the world because I've been filled by God and filled by the fellowship, and I think that's way true that you feel better and you're ready to take on the world. But I don't think we should take one day, that Sunday, the day of rest, and get ready for the rest of the week. I think what we're supposed to do is use the rest of the week to get ready for that one day of rest. For me, a great day of rest was like last Sunday when I went and saw my son and my new grandson, well, he's 10 months now, and I sat back and my son cooked for me on the barbecue. Now, I don't know that he was resting. I don't think he thought of it as work, cooking for his parents. It was definitely not work for me, but I rested. And I think that's what God wanted. And I didn't, we talked about this and that and the other thing, but I hope that our conversations honored God. I hope that we didn't talk trash and that we weren't garbage. That God could look at us and join our conversation quite easily, and we can have Him sit there and be with us. I think that honors God. I don't think that the Sabbath was made for man to be perfect. I don't think man wasn't made so that he could follow the Sabbath. Here's the rules. Okay, man, follow the rules. Follow the rules. It was like, okay, here's people. I gotta get them to rest. Here's the Sabbath. Okay, you guys, just like I rested, I want you to take a rest on this day. Just take a rest. And resting is different ways for different people, but the whole thing to remember is it's a day to honor God. I mean, we should honor God all week. All our life, we should always be honoring God. But He asked us to just take a rest and think of me and honor me. And we do that when we go to church and we sing and when we pray and all that. But I think sometimes just resting and sitting back and thinking, God, this is a really good life You've given me. I'm most blessed. I thank You for everything. I think that's honoring God. In your moments of rest, have a conversation. All right. And besides, I think you deserve it. I know God thinks you deserve it. That's why He said, I'm rested. You should rest. All right, that's what I got. I'll see you next week. Take care. Ciao.